सर, जो 10+2 बायो से किए होंगे तो साइंस से, तो एग्रीकल्चर लाइन में जाने के लिए उसको उनको 10+2 अदर सब्जेक्ट से करना पड़ेगा या ये सब्जेक्ट से जा सकते हैं? सर मैथ्स से भी होगा तो जा सकते ना सर? यस सर, ये तो यही कंफ्यूजन जो है ना, ये इसलिए पूछ रहे थे कि विनय जो है ना, विनय, तो विनय का 10+2 साइंस से है, तो वो 10+2 दोबारा कर रहा है दूसरा सब्जेक्ट से एग्रीकल्चर में जाने के लिए। तो ऐसा कोई ज़रूरत तो नहीं है, काहे कि साइंस से तो वो जा सकता है, तो फिर से इंटर करने का क्या ज़रूरत है? यस सर। यस।
शिव कुमार जी,
ओके
आपको
सर।
शायद पता नहीं है, बिना आपको पता है ना कि राजस्थान में नौकरी करने लगा था इलेक्ट्रिशियन की। तो वो अभी हम खुशबू ने बताया था सुबह वाले क्लास में कि
everybody. I hope Major has already walked you through the options available for science and also with respect to the commerce. We had done this as a part of the part one when we did the career orientation on what are the career subjects that we need to focus on. So currently, in this part, thank you for Vanaprastha to bringing everybody onto this particular platform to ensure that we upgrade people on how important is the career and how do we want to choose the subjects, etc. So we last in the session we went through to understand what are the science subjects, what are the core subjects that you're going to study, how does it get related to the professions, and what are the kind of the skill sets. This will be the part two, where I will be walking you through the humanities and arts. What are the things available over there? Plus, what are the skill set and how do you need to prepare for the professions going further? So, without any delay, thanking Major once again for making it up and bridging until now. Sorry for making you all wait, but this is something which was very qualitative as well to recap, which I had an intention to do that. So let me start with the humanities and arts. I hope all of you have a complete see-through of what is it in the science and what is it in the commerce. And in the similar way, how many ever subjects that we have as a part of the science and the commerce. Say, for instance, in science, we had medicine, we had engineering, we had farm sciences, we had pure sciences. In pure sciences, we had allied medical services and the allied medical professions that gets attached along with the pure sciences as well. So there will be some bunch of, let there be around 30 professions that gets attached. I'm just giving a imaginary number for you. Some, if at all, we have some 30 professions attached to science, and in commerce we have banking, we have the kind of investment portfolio, we have risk management, we have insurance sector. So there are many different things as a part of the commerce. Let's understand that there are some 30 available in the commerce as well. If there are 30 and 30, assuming that it's an imaginary number in science and humanities, in science and commerce, in humanities and arts, my dear friends, my dear kiddos, there are double the number of available professions in humanities and arts. Most of them lose out on understanding the gravity and the importance of the humanities and arts, because this is one particular subject which provides lot of profession, more to do with the creativity. So the creative intelligence supposed to be one of the aspects of the humanities and the arts is something that we focus on the creative intelligence, and that adds a lot of different value for the professional aspects in the years to come. So if at all, and again, there is another one myth that I would want to highlight over here. In our society, we always think that if somebody has got around 90%, they're supposed to be taking science. If it is little lesser, then we are supposed to take commerce. And if it is lot more lesser, if it is just like a second class or something like that, like 50 to 60%, they will be like, okay, why don't you pick up arts? But please, for the for all the luck cares and for the God's sake, please don't do this mistake. This country needs expertise in every sector, in every subject, in every domain. So it is not that science is for premium, commerce is for intermediary, and the left is over for the humanities and arts. It is never like that. We need to understand that every subject that you choose will lead to a profession which actually carries a lot of potentiality and the livelihood as well. To walk you through the humanities and arts, if you pick up arts, what are the subjects that you are going to study is, Major, can we go to the next slide, please? Yeah. So, okay, we directly have come to the law, but let me walk you through the humanities and arts. Whenever you pick up the arts subject, please ensure that or you understand what are the subjects that you're going to study. This is more to do with the history, economics, sociology, psychology, home science, political science, geography, Hindustani. In the music itself, you can study music, by the way. Not necessarily it is a hobby or a skill. You can study music, and in music also you have two different sectors or two different classifications as Hindustani and Carnatic. You have languages available. All the 22 recognized Indian constituent languages are available as a part of the study in humanities and arts. Say, for instance, if you like any regional language, most of you come from North. Say, for instance, if I am from Maharashtra, I really like Marathi as a part of my literature. I can definitely go ahead and study Marathi. Or if I'm from Tamil Nadu, I can study Tamil. Or if I'm from Karnataka, Kannada is the regional language, and I can study that. In the similar way, Hindi literature is something that you can definitely study. So every language has the specialization by itself, which is a part of the humanities and arts. And all of them are both available in honors. The language is a part of the honors and also optional as a part of the language across India. And all these are something which is available on the regional basis. Along with that, we also have one of the subject called logic. So depending on what kind of the college you are actually focusing, or you are going to, which university you are going, there are permutations and combinations of these subjects available. It can be history, economics, logic, geography, psychology, political science, sociology, education. You can study education, physical education is also available. Music, logic, and home science and languages are some of these permutations and combinations of the subjects available in humanities as such. I think I'll just pause a little bit so that Major can explain. Raise the hand. Yes, Gaurav. Okay, you have understood. Okay. Sure. Okay, I think, yes, sir. Absolutely. Sure.
Yes, sir.
Sure. Thank you, Meja. So, coming back to the humanities and the arts, one of the biggest professions that gets attached as a post 12th standard. So, after 10th standard, you are supposed to pick up as a humanities or arts, and whatever the subjects that I said will be the combination. After that, people can go ahead to pursue BA, that is Bachelor's of Arts. This is one of the subjects. Apart from that, you can also pursue BA LLB, that is law. So this is an integrated course of 5 years. So at any university, at any recognized college affiliated to the university across India, you have BA LLB as an integrated course. Whosoever wants to become a lawyer, and it can be a district lawyers, it can be in the sessions court, it can be in the civil court, it can be in the criminal court. So it can be just a general advocate as well. So basically, whenever we say that, okay, somebody is a lawyer and somebody is an advocate, the difference is they study, both of them do study law, but one of them actually are the people who are recognized from the bar council. So if at all you want to practice in high court, in the district court, sessions court, or in the Supreme Court, so it's step by step. You will be studying the judiciary system of India, particularly with respect to the law. What are the careers that are available predominantly with respect to law is all the legal practitioners. You can be a lawyer in these places. Else, one of the wonderful opportunities is you can be a lawyer or a legal counselor in corporate sectors, like in the IT sector, ITES, or any manufacturing organizations, FMCG, any of these domains. All of them need a person who is good at legal aspects around it, with respect to what is possible, what is not possible, what to do with employee grievances, what does the law say in such an occasion. We all need legal counselors in any of these organizations that you see outside. So in such occasions, people who also would have studied law need not have to be practicing only in the court. They can also be the legal counselors in any of these organizations with respect to counseling or the legal counseling per se, or else they can be in the documentation, or they can only be consulting as a part of the legal practitioners. Also, there is another aspect of the BA LLB, along with few certifications. They also do forensics. As a part of the investigation, forensics is also a part of the law that they can pursue as a part of legal practice in India. And another one aspect of BA LLB, can they do the masters? Yes, they can also pursue LLM. That is, the masters in the legal and the law is more to do with the LLM, and they can also pursue LLM, which is of a very, very, very high degree. And the kind of a professional progression as they get it in the law is very, very prospective in India. So, of course, it is something that it is very skill based. Also, for the legal aspects, you should know it is just not about studying constituency, just studying the judiciary system. You should be somebody who's very good with communication skills. Like, you should be able to speak, and you should be able to investigate what is the case all about. Are you taking up the civil case? Are you taking the criminal case? So these are all the skills available which you should develop once when you go ahead to practice law. So the next one, I think, Major, request you to go to the next slide, please. Sure.
नहीं सर, लगभग तो समझ गए सर, क्योंकि मैं इस क्षेत्र से हूँ, इसलिए बार काउंसलिंग मतलब डिग्री करने 3 साल जो 5 ईयर या 3 इयर्स के करने के बाद जाते हैं. यस मैम.
यस, इट इज 5 years, खुशबू. 5 साल है.
यस सर, मतलब मैम.
या, नो प्रॉब्लम.
जी.
Corporate law, yeah. Oh,
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So the one who practices the law will, in the years to come, after 15, 20 years, they automatically get into the judges. Yeah.
रेखा कुछ पूछ रही है. Pratima ji, one of the needs for many students here is because they're rural students. What are some of the sub professions, like prejudicial type professions with pre-law? Can you talk a little bit about that? Because I know you touched that, but there are many where they help the lawyers, because यहाँ बहुत से बच्चे हैं जो उस तरफ जाना चाहते होंगे, क्योंकि they don't have the proper guidance and training and education to pursue law as such. So if you can help there.
Sure, sir. So basically, one is BA LLB part of it, but this is the bare minimum. If at all they want to even assist any lawyer's office, say for instance, if I just want to assist an advocate, not necessarily I'll have to study BA LLB. I should have done my MA in English or BA in English. There should have been somebody who's a language expert who gets into the policy making, documentation, or understanding the entire, preparing the case study, preparing the points, assisting the advocates on what to be presenting, and also more from a company secretarial job. So there are people who do CS course, that is the company secretarial job, who also get an opportunity to work in the advocate's office. Need not have to be working in BA LLB, but if at all they study BA LLB, point number one, they start working in any of the lawyer's office, just like a work shadowing, that I look up to my senior. I understand that, okay, they this is how they argue in the court. This is how they present the cases, etc. I work shadow them. I follow them for 2 to 3 years and then pick up the cases by myself. So point number one, it can be in the court, or else they can be somebody who assists to the advocates itself. Or else I don't want to practice at all, I want to work in corporate, they are most welcome, they can work in the corporate houses as well. The fourth aspect of it is somebody who gets into the policy making and the kind of a documentation. But if at all they have done BA LLB and then get into the documentation, it is of a huge advantage, because that also does matter a lot, and that can also give a lot of livelihood as well.
That's very good. That's a good summary. बच्चों को ये मैं बताना चाहता हूँ कि हम लोग जो सोचते हैं बिहार में, यूपी में, इन जगहों पर, कि लॉ का मतलब है जो सब डिवीजन में और डिस्ट्रिक्ट में जाके वकालत करता है, वकील लोग जो बैठे रहते हैं, वही केवल नहीं है. अब दुनिया में लॉ की बहुत जरूरत है और उसके बहुत से रास्ते हैं. इंटरनेशनल लॉ है, जैसा लोगों ने बताया, जज बन सकते हैं. इसके अलावा बहुत से दूसरे रास्ते हैं, सब पर लोग बताए हैं. लेकिन हम लोगों को अपने दिमाग से निकालना होगा कि लॉ के केवल ये डिस्ट्रिक्ट कोर्ट में और सब डिविजनल कोर्ट में जाके और हाई कोर्ट में जाके वकालत करनी है, वो हम लोगों को दिमाग से निकालना होगा. और दूसरी बात जो प्रतिमा जी बता रही हैं कि जो भी सब्जेक्ट आप पढ़ रहे हैं, उन सब चीजों की लॉ में जरूरत है. तो आप लॉयर्स को मदद कर सकते हैं. तो अगर आपने किसी सब्जेक्ट में एक्सपर्ट लेवल के आदमी हैं, आपकी एक्सपर्टीज ज्यादा है, तो उसकी जरूरत लॉयर्स को पड़ती है. लॉयर्स को हर सब्जेक्ट की जरूरत पड़ती है, क्योंकि रिसर्च आप करेंगे उसके लिए, अगर आप इतने उसमें एक्सपर्ट हैं तो वो सब दिमाग में रखना है. और लॉयर बनने के लिए BA LLB तो जरूरी ही है. तो हमारी जो खुशबू कर रही है, आई थिंक खुशबू, यू शुड पे अटेंशन टू ऑल दिस. दैट्स ऑल.
Sure. Yeah.
Yes,
so
sir.
another one thing that I would want to add over here without fail is, say for instance, not necessarily if I have taken commerce, can I study law? Yes, BCom LLB is also one of the option. Not necessarily BA LLB is the only option. People also do BCom for 3 years and then LLB for 2 years, and predominantly they get into commercial law per se. As Major said about the corporate law and the commercial law, they get into that line. Yeah. Okay. So should we continue or should we go to the next one, sir? Okay, fair enough. Sure, sure. So coming on to the next part of one of the major professions in the humanities and arts is journalism. So obviously, journalism is one of those media, entertainment. This is one of the major aspects of the arts and humanities as such, wherein if you will look at all the people from the newsroom, you will look at the TV channels, you look at all the kind of the newspaper ad, magazines, etc., the reporters available in the social media right now. So media is the news media, the print media, and this, the kind of the social media right now on the internet. So they are into various different categories right now. So we all need those professions who are good with respect to the journalism. They have a specific study, particularly with the news, the investigation. How do you collate it? How do you summarize the language, the part of it, what to say, what not to say, what should be the ethics of the journalism? All of them are studied in journalism. And again, in journalism also, there are various different segregations. What are the careers or what are the professions? How can you earn money out of journalism is, one is you should be ready for travel, and one is they can be reporters in both from the news per se, political reporters, criminal reporters, or the kind of an organizational reporters. So there are various different categories in the reporting as well, but you can get the jobs in any of these different buckets of the reporters. Next is a mass media. In the mass media also, it is more to do with the radio and the TV channels. And the print media is magazines and newspapers. You can get the job over there. And your language, all the entire journalism, one of the key skill set that each one of you should focus is the language per se. And I'll tell you the very wonderful advantage over here. Here in India, not necessarily in English, you also have language. Each one of the regions has different languages. Every state has a different language, and in the state itself you have so many different languages, and each one of them carry a various different magnitude of reporting, newspapers and magazines available. You can get a lot of job opportunities in each one of them. You can specialize in any of these languages of your choice, and journalism is one aspect which can give you job. Next is also the marketing per se. Journalism also has marketing under ad agencies, etc., event management. Journalism also comprises of getting the professions, the one who is also into the marketing division of the newspaper and the mass media also. So that is also one of them. And also forensic journalism or the criminal reporting just goes hand in hand, and they get the job over here. They also get involved in various different news reporting and presenting the cases. Plus the column specialist. You can be a column specialist once when you have, once when you spend enough amount of years in the entire reporting angle and in the, in the entire journalism sector itself, you can become a column specialist and a consultant in any of these media houses. Look at any TV channel. There are thousands of TV channels. The print media, hundreds and thousands of newspapers and magazines available here in India. The job is definitely something which is guaranteed if you do the journalism. I think I'll close this on the journalism per se before we move to the next link. Any questions? Happy to help. Okay. So one is the hospitality is available in all the three divisions. This is something that I would want to say to each one of them over here. So in the hospitality domain, the food science and nutrition is also a part of the hospitality right now in many of the sectors. So somebody who's picked up the science, they can study food science and nutrition. I think I had specifically mentioned this when I previously spoke about the science as a part of your career option. And whenever we say science, in under the farm sciences, you have food science and nutrition and also dietetics as a part of your pure sciences as well, available as a part of your career option today. That being said, when somebody picks up commerce or arts, one of the major professions that they can also pursue is hotel management, BHM, which is Bachelor's of Hotel Management. And in the Bachelor's of Hotel Management, you have a lot of professions that are available, a lot of careers and a lot of jobs available. And particularly when I say hospitality, hospitality is more to do with your hotels, restaurants, and anything as a part of your hotel and restaurants, be it in the public relations officer, customer relationship management, marketing in the hospitality, that is hotel management, and inside the kitchen, that is more of the culinary arts. And also, when it comes to the kind of a 5-star and the 3-star hotels, there is a separate sales division for it. And again, in general, we have a housekeeping division, which is of a very high creative category of interior designers and interior specialists, and also somebody in the aviation domain. Whenever you fly or anything like that, the air hostess, they are also the people who have done their courses and they have studied the subjects of the hospitality, and then they take up the certifications in the air hostess and the aviation domains. So as to say, hospitality is one of them, that you should be ready to travel. This is another one biggest demand in the hospitality. During COVID, most of the things had got closed down, but everything is opened up currently. And another one biggest addition in the hospitality is, once when you are somebody who is good at the hospitality domain, the opportunities are worldwide, not necessarily only in India or only in this country, but in general, if you are somebody who is good with hospitality and who's also into the business development and operations, there are occasions where you can get the job in Middle East, Western world, Australia, New Zealand. They are all some of them who looks forward for hospitality. That's point number one. Point number two, there are some chain of hotels across India and across the world, like Hyatt. That's one of the chain of hotels. And there is so many different international hotels available, which is available in India. They are the people who go ahead to transfer these employees from one place to another. So as to say, if you are good with hospitality, you get opportunities just not in this country, but across the globe. But you should be someone who will create your specialization, and all of them are available. But the base or the foundation is wherein you will have to do the hospitality management. And hotel management, BHM, can be pursued both from the commerce angle and also from the humanities and the arts angle. So this is hospitality. And before we go forward, I think I have to mention a couple of more things as a part of the humanities and the arts. Major, do you would want to summarize this so that I can directly move on to the other subject under humanities? Travel. Yeah.
सर हॉस्पिटल क्या होता है हॉस्पिटलिटी? ओके सर, ओके।
हॉस्पिटल वाला हॉस्पिटैलिटी वो मेडिकल केयर होता है।
एक चीज और मैं कहना चाहूँगा, स्पेशली रूरल जो क्राउड है यहाँ पर गाँव का, हम लोगों को अब सोचना है कि ये सब चीज़ें आजकल अभी डॉक्टर प्रतिमा ने तो एविएशन में बताया, लेकिन ट्रेन्स भी आजकल बहुत ऐसी हो रही हैं। इंडियन रेलवेज ने काफ़ी कुछ हॉस्पिटलिटी पर किया है। वो खाना बनाने वाले, खाना देने वाले, ये सारे के सारे अच्छे अच्छे ट्रेन्स जो चल रहे हैं, उसमें ये सब चीज लोगों की ज़रूरत है। तो नौकरियों की भरमार है। तो इट्स नॉट ओनली एविएशन, मतलब हवाई जहाज से उड़ने की केवल बात नहीं है, ट्रेन्स में भी बात है, जो कि हमारे आपके घर के काफ़ी नज़दीक है, उसमें नौकरी मिल सकती है। और दूसरा, बाहर की बात करें या अंदर की भी बात करें, भारत में भी तो क्रूज दो लाइंस हैं, जो रिवर क्रूज, ओशन क्रूज, इस तरीके की बहुत नौकरियां हैं। तो उसमें भी इन चीज़ों की ज़रूरत है। तो ये एरिया बहुत बहुत खुला हुआ है और इसमें ज़्यादा साइंस की पढ़ाई की ज़रूरत नहीं होती।
Correct.
तो ये ध्यान रखना है।
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you, sir. I would want to complement that. Let me put it across in a very specific way. Particularly in railways, in the hospitality domain, there are some luxury trains and they're very particular. In Indian railways only, we have something called as a Palace on Wheels or Maharaja Express. These are all luxury trains. And they are very particular that they need people only from hospitality domain, and they will never compromise with the degrees or the kind of the skills that these luxury trains has, because it carries a lot of foreigners, and that's the reason the quality recruitment happens in these trains. And Indian Railways directly hire people directly from colleges and universities. Yeah. And this has been happening since quite a lot of years, particularly luxury trains in India. You have a lot of them from one place to another, and these luxury trains exclusively hire from hospitality background. Sure. So before we go forward, I think the next slide is more to do with the security services. But before I go with two security services, I want to actually highlight two things from the humanities. The major two things over here is, one is BFA or BVA. BFA is Bachelors of Fine Arts or Bachelors of Visual Arts, wherein we have two segregations as Fine Arts and Applied Arts. Let me give you, a little bit of brief of what is fine arts. Fine arts is more to do with the literature, okay, the literature and the performing arts. So literature is more from the kind of poetry, short stories, epics, novel, etc. This is more to do with the literature. But when it comes to the performing arts, you would have seen theater, music, dance, acting, choreography, direction, and any of the post-production or the martial arts. These are all the performing arts. So there is a subject exclusively for the fine arts, and that is called as a BFA, which is Bachelors of the Fine Arts, which is directly related to that of the humanities and the arts. And there is ample opportunities in the BFA part of it. But of late, once when we have the technology in the place, and once when it actually started gaining a lot of momentum, we have visual arts, one which you can see. Like cinema and media has been one of the major hubs for the professions and the jobs and the roles that are available. In applied arts, we have visual and decorative practices. What do you actually mean by that is, when it comes to the decorative practices, you have painting, interior designing, photography, conceptual arts, or the kind of a weaving of the fabrics and the sculpting. All of them are a part of the applied arts, and they are visuals. Along with that, in the BVA particularly, you have more to do with the animations and the part of the visuals available right now with the videography, etc. And this is been of a high demand of late, and particularly with the creative designers in the industry. Like, say, for instance, I'll give you an example to make you understand. When you look at an ad, okay, some advertisement in the TV for around 10 seconds or 30 seconds maximum, some of them captures your attention within no time, like Bajaj ad, Colgate ad, or the paper boat. They have a very specific design as a part of it. And or even the music, like Britannia music of I think Tan 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 was the Britannia music, which was done by Prahalad Kakkar. They are all creative designers, and they are all the professions which is of a very, very high degree of pay as well, which you need to start thinking. But the underlying part of it is this needs a lot of creative intelligence. When we say creative intelligence, you should be able to innovate, you should be able to create ideas, you should be able to understand how can I impact the other people, how can I make sure that the other person purchases my product. They are all the people who are hired, and very very high demand today is for the creative intelligence. If you are somebody who's very good with creative minds with a lot of idea generation, trust me, you are in a super high demand. This is something that I wanted to tell you as a part of your the humanities and arts. Another one of the biggest value addition, another biggest branch in the humanities and arts is the bachelors of design. In the bachelors of the design, of late you have many universities and the recognized colleges to host the bachelors of design. One is most of them understand interior designing and the fashion designing, but of late you have a lot of other additions as well as a part of the addition, the kind of the bachelors in design. It can be interior design, it can be graphic design, it can be product design, it can be animation and the VFX. So the entire BDes itself has a different entrance examination, unlike common entrance test or any other, the state level wide. BDes, that is Bachelor's of Design, exclusively has the entrance tests like SEED or AIEED. So these are all some of the entrance tests exclusively for placing people, and it is not like, okay, you just pick it up and it is not just allotted as and when with the merit, but you also need to go ahead to write these written tests as well, which is of a very high demand today. Along with it, you will also be surprised that in the bachelor's of design, you also have a jewelry design. Okay, jewelry designing and management is also one of the courses available, and you have travel and tourism as a part of humanities. Apart from hospitality, you also have BA in travel and tourism. You can work in the travel and tourism departments of the various states and country level wide travel houses. And the BBA, BFA, BA, LLB, BDes, travel and tourism, BA in different languages, mass communication, journalism, all of them are the part of the humanities and the arts. So before we take it forward, this is the summary of humanities and arts. On to you, Major. Correct. Yeah. Hamara Bajaj is also one of the very popular ad. Parle Ji. Very good. Very good. Correct. 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 No, I think you have covered everything, Major. Whatever I just wanted to say about BFA, BBA, and BDES, I think you have covered all of them. Sure. So I think security services is the next one.
Madam, I have a question.
Yes, Gaurav.
Madam, is there any way to develop creative thinking? Or it
Very
is
good
not
question,
even-
Gaurav. Yeah, see, basically, we do take up the different session for developing creative intelligence. So it is not like, okay, overnight you develop the creative intelligence, but you need to understand that can you be very thoughtful? Can you be insightful? I'll give you an example. All of us have so many problems with respect to the traffic across India. Okay, so how do I make sure there is a solution for so much of density of the traffic? Can I find out any idea for that? Where are these places where there is a lot of traffic congestion? How can I make it? What is the practical workability? What is pragmatic? What is something which is practically possible? Is something that we can think of. This is example. Okay, whenever we are outside, we are observing lot of things. There is lot of problems all around us. Can you provide a solution to all these problems? I'll give you another example, like waste management. Today in entire India, Swachh Bharat is one of the abhiyan, but in the similar way, we have still long way to go to develop the cleanliness across the nation. Waste management is the second per se of it, but how do we manage even the waste is also one of the biggest idea generator, wherein how do we want to solve this particular problem. So whenever you look at the critically observe the things and look at the problems, the first thing that all of us need to think is, how can I solve this? Irrespective of the practical, whether is it possible not possible is secondary. Primary is, can I solve it? Can I come up with a solution for any of these issues? As such, it can be the smallest of the problem, it can be the biggest of the problem, but the creative intelligence is starts with, first is critical thinking, first is observation, look forward and drop down and filter out specifically what is the problem, what can be the solution. So observing the problem or observing the things and coming to the problem needs creative and critical thinking and critical intelligence, but solving it needs a creative intelligence. This is just an example, but of course you will have to use and you will have to ensure that you habituate yourself in coming up with creative ideas. Just not about a lot of people have this idea of painting, sculpting, which is also a creative intelligence, but the creative intelligence development is solving things, is completely coming up with the different solutions. As such, I hope I answered your question. Major, probably you can add. Super. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
No, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay. So just to summarize, Gaurav, because that was a very interesting question for me, I'll just give you the kind of the steps for the creative development. One is the observation. We actually do this as a part of the workshop itself. One is the first start with observation. Next is the kind of incubation, getting into the problem critically. That is incubation. Next is illumination. Illumination is coming up with the solutions. Okay, I have a new idea. How do I solve the problem? That is illumination. This is the third step. And the fourth step is evaluation. Is it possible, not possible? What is the pros and cons? And what is the downsides of it? All of them is a part of evaluation. And at last is the verification. Verification is, okay, whatever I have said that as a part of evaluation, is it something which is verifiable? And all of them are a part of your creative development. So this is something that I just wanted to tell you in 2 words, that what are the different steps in the part of the creative development. Okay, we will go forward.
Kindly explain, ma'am. Kindly explain illumination again.
Illumination is coming up with the ideas, Gaurav. So illumination, illuminate, the bulb is on. That is illumination. So one is observation. One is you observe a problem. That is the first step. And the second step is incubation. Incubation is getting inside the problem, critically evaluating what is the problem all about, why did it come, what are the different areas that it is covering, how is it impacting. All of them is a part of incubation. The third is, once when you go with the nuclei of the problem, the focal point of the problem is the illumination. What is that? If you solve this particular nuclei, is the illumination coming up with the new ideas. So whenever we say creative intelligence is all about the process generation of the new ideas. Okay, new ideas and solving the current problems. That is illumination. After illumination, you have bunch of solutions. Solution 1, solution 2, 3, etc. Next is evaluation. What is workable, not not workable. Next is the part of the verification, saying that if I choose this as a solution, how do I verify that this is something that can work? That is the 5 step. I hope I answered your question.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Sure, Gaurav. Thank you. Okay, without delay, let's move on to security forces. I'm sure that many of the programs would have already covered it. I'm somebody who can actually speak very less on it, because Major and so many brigadier whom we actually had in the previous sessions also, all of them come from the security forces by itself. And whenever we say security forces, in the career options, we cover them as a part of Indian Army by itself, Indian Army, Navy, Defense, Coast Guards, etc. Plus the police officers, CBI officers, all of them come as a part of the security forces. So whenever we look forward for security forces and the civil services as well, which I wanted to actually combine both of them over here, there is nothing like a specific science, commerce, or the humanities per se. Each one of them have got the jobs in the security forces by itself. But the fact is, you have dedicated competitive examinations for it, and you have specific academies and the colleges where you need to go ahead to focus more from the physiological angle and also from the psychological preparation, both from physiology, psychology, and the ethic management as well, is all that is covered as a part of the security services. And the major part of the challenge lies in cracking the competitive examinations, which is really not easy, both for security forces and civil services. Specifically, civil services is more to do with your IAS, IPS, IFS, ICS, IES, lot of them. There are more than around 20 plus different civil services where you need to pick up UPSC examination for civil services. But for security forces, depending on which angle of the security force are you looking out for, like say for instance, if you want to become a police officer, you need to prepare yourself for the SSC, that is the staff selection commission examination, and also for civil services you need to pick up UPSC, as I told you, and for the defense you need to get ready for the SSB. I think most of the Vanaprasth some of the sessions I'm 100% sure it is already covered, which I'll request Major to go ahead and speak about that. But in general, the security forces or the civil services is something that you can pursue with any of the subjects available at the bachelor's degree, and also some of them can be pursued immediately after 12th as well, depending on what kind of role have you actually look forward for. You can get through the permanent commission, the PC as well, and the SSC, that is short service commission as well. And these are all some things that are available at every state and the central government, under the aid of the state government and the central government as well. And apart from that, a lot of the people ask me about CBI officers. So CBI officers are somebody, okay, as I told you, there is nothing like, okay, you need to would have studied specific aspect. Most of the people who have done, you will be surprised that BA LLB, BCom LLB, BA in criminology, these are all the people who can also pursue CBI officers. And two bodies that conduct the examination for CBI is UPSC and SSC as well. And to become a Group A officer or the IPS, you need to clear that, the IPS part of it. And for SI, in the CBI part, you will have to clear the SSC. And there are, examinations for the CBI officers. You need to know that there are 4 different levels of the tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, and tier 4. And the tier 1 is more from the computer-based objective examination, which is more of the MCQs. And the tier 2 is the second level, the computer-based objective examination. The third, tier 3, is the descriptive written tests. And the fourth tier is more to do with the computer proficiency test. You need to ensure that you are somebody who is good and clears all of these tiers to become a CBI officers. But remember, UPSC and SSC are the two bodies which conducts these examinations, and you should be somebody who's physiologically upright. And also there will be tests both from the physical tests and the aptitude tests available in the security forces. I think Major will also can add a lot more, but this is the summary of it, because each one of them are of a different category by itself. Army is different, police officers are different, and the kind of CBI is totally different. These are all they all come under security forces. Civil services is something any degree, any undergraduation can pick up the civil services examination. On to you, Major. Correct. Correct. Yeah, I think we can go for the next slide, please. Okay, so please read the third point as potential career. So coming back, this will be the kind of the summary of the part 1 and the part 2 of what we have discussed in the last 2 webinars. So one is please remember your entire career choices starts from your high school. So one is immediately at the 10th level, you should be clear enough, okay, even if you're not super sorted out and very clear about this is exactly what I do, but at least you should be able to make out that should I be pursuing science, I know the stuff. It need not have to be the professional choice that I am going to do this only after 5 years. I'm not even asking for that. But at least you should be able to say that these are the subjects of my interest. I will be very passionate to study this. And if you are very clear about these are all the available subjects in science, commerce, and the humanities, you will be able to make a good decision depending on what kind of the combination that you would want to take, because depending on that, there are umpteen number of professions and the roles available today. Need not have to be very skewed, etc. And one is at the level 1 is at the 10th, but level 2 is at the 12th standard, that is before your graduation. Again, the things really take a different routes, and you can filter it down, saying that it just becomes narrowed down. From the science, you get into medicine, engineering, commerce, you can get into BCom or BCom LLB, or you have hotel management, you have banking management, etc. In the humanities, you have so many different things that we've discussed already. So each one of them, this just gets narrowed down with each of the level 2 immediately before UG post 12th. And after that, after the UG, that is your bachelor's degree, you can also get into the job and then pursue your masters, or you want to continue your masters, anything is available. But because there are a lot of rural kids over here, let me also tell you, not necessarily that you can only pursue only bachelor's degree. Immediately after 10th standard or 12th standard, you can also pick up diploma. Okay, you also have diploma, the polytechnic diploma or the normal diploma, or else you have occasional courses which can directly get you the job. You have ITI courses across India which can directly get you the job, which is all about 1, 2, or 3 years maximum available. And one humble suggestion that I would give you is, there are occasions where you will end up doing the diploma courses, but don't stop over there. Even if it is an evening college, please complete your bachelor's degree, because in the years to come, as you go, when you are 30 years, 40 years, etc., it is very important that you go ahead to pursue and have a bachelor's degree, so that you can pursue the things little later as well, which will be a great value addition. This is something as a part of the combination of your career map at level 1, level 2, UG, job. And again, from the job, you can take a different routes altogether. So this is something that you will have to map yourself as a part of the potential career in the years to come. Major, you can summarize, and if at all, if you have any questions, happy to answer. Sure. Yeah, any questions? Happy to help. Sure. So we can just go to the next one so that I summarize everything, Meja. Okay, I think this is very simple. Subject combination career. This is directly taken. Whatever we have spoken until now, It is summarized as a part of this. Please ensure that you also have a look at this online. Whatever we have spoken about, the engineering or the medicine, the law, everything is available as a part of it. This is a career guide directly from the chatbot, which is in the open AI. That's the website. You can pick it up. The next slide, please, Major. We have already spoken about this. Yeah, this is Google search results. You can click on these links. I think Major will be the best person to actually speak about this rather than me. Sure. Yeah. Sure. So the next one, please, the 19th slide. So, okay, this is something which is of closing lines. As I told you already, career is never a straight line. It is never a straight path. So you will have to take a lot of turns, lot of detours, and you just need to understand that two things that is going to change from now on is the entrance examinations. Every level, post 10 standard, I think, Kushbu, can you mute it, please? Yeah, thank you so much, Ma. Thank you. So the two things that you need to always remember is getting ready for the competitive examinations. Please remember, allotment of the seats is exclusively from the competitive examination per se, and career is something which is very, very directly proportional to that. And remember, career is never a straight line. You will take a lot of different turns around it, but the decisions should be something that you are aware about it. Next is have a right combination of the things. Don't go with some studying something, working something. It should never happen in that way, because whatever you lay the foundation, you should be able to go ahead and build the things based on what is the kind of a combination that you will have to go ahead to work on. That is very important. Very, very, very important is the third point. Focus on the skills. So along with information and the knowledge that you have, the skills for the profession, like say for instance, if you will have to be a medical practitioner, your investigation and the I2 details should be very good. Communication skills should be very good. If you're somebody who's in the hospitality, being organized is very, very important in all the armed forces. And of course, time management is something that is very important in all the professions. So you should focus on the skills and develop consistently, not necessarily I have got a job, I am going to do with it. No, it is just not, it is just not sufficient and adequate. It is a lifelong process of developing the skills. Very, very important. And I would want every child to remember this for all the years to come. And even working professionals, this is highly important. And never make a career decisions a very quick decision. Somebody told me something, I ended up taking a decision. Somebody influenced me. Somebody is pressurizing me to take a decision. Please don't take career decisions out of not knowing the things, or out of the quick decision, out of haste, or I know only so much, out of limitations and lot of pressure. You should never take decisions based on these aspects as a part of your career, only because you're going to live the rest of your lives with your career. So please don't do this mistake of taking the decisions out of pressure. Whenever you are in doubt, please ensure you pick up a call with a counselor, and we are all there to help you with that. Remember two things that ensure that you take a right decision, point number one, and mentally be prepared for preparing yourself for competitive examination. And the third angle for it is focus on the skill development. So these are some of the things. And at last, I think the last slide is Major, last slide, please. Yeah, so this is something that I would want to tell all of you, that career building is a lifelong process, which I just mentioned it to you. It's a combination of what have you studied as a part of your academics, your education, what kind of a specialization have you focused on, and what have you developed, what is your interest, and what is your biggest strength, that I'm excellent at this. So you will have to be ensuring that you put a lot of effort in specializing your subjects, and what can I utilize my information, my knowledge, and attach it to the profession so that it becomes my job, which can earn my living, and also which can give me the career out of that particular profession. That is all about the career building. And please ensure you reaches out for any doubts. Happy to answer.